What's up, guys? Welcome to We Don't Know Ball, to yet another replacement host to Retro Music, and a good friend of mine, DKB, on TikTok. Go follow him. He does a lot of sports takes, and I've been talking to him behind the scenes, but I'm really glad that we're finally collaborating. DKB, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm honored to be on here, buddy. I've been wanting to be on here for a little bit. Haven't had the chance kind of thing. But yeah, I'm definitely honored to be on here. Excited to see what we're going to chop it up about.
For sure. Justin, how are you feeling about this NBA trade deadline that just passed?
God, there was a whole lot of fuckery that went on.
Literally, a whole lot of
That's
fuckery.
the best way to do it. Like, everyone wanted to hype this up after the Trae Young trade. If this is what we're getting 72 hours before the deadline, this is going to be the greatest. Shut the fuck up. I hate people. I really do. I'm going to be honest. Like, there were teams that made necessary moves, and we'll get into it, but I'm just going to say this now. I've never been so happy to be right, saying the Jazz do not need to trade anybody. They just need to bring in some pieces. That is the greatest thing that happened in this entire deadline, to me.
Okay.
Right after they're about to get fucking investigated for load management.
I was going to say the load management stuff now coming out against them. That might push our narrative that Jazz might be a legitimate play-in team for next year, bro.
They got the type of player I asked for. They got exactly who I wanted. They got maybe not exactly Jaren Jackson, but they got what I wanted them to get. I'm excited to see where the Jazz go from here.
I am as well. But before we get into everything, just in the preface of this will be the trade deadline talks, because the trade deadline just passed. So a majority of these conversations, I know we usually talk about the games and what happened and where the conference stuff. This is probably strictly going to be trade deadline, what we think about moves, overrated, underrated kind of stuff, and our takes about the better teams coming out of the trade deadline versus losers and that kind of stuff.
It's a really good thing because it was a lot of mediocre basketball last week.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. And now that All-Star break is around the corner, we're not going to see definitively how these guys are impacting because this short, sample size that we have. So it's not going to be the greatest kind of thing. But I guess to start us off, pause. I think one of the moves that everybody liked out of the deadline to start off is this AD trade, and everybody has their stuff about the Wizards now going to next year.
Let him go.
So I just want to run this down really quick for what was traded for who between Dallas and Washington, and actually Charlotte as well. So Charlotte got Malachi Branham, shout out Ohio State. Malachi Branham, former Spur, kind of sucks. Not gonna lie.
The guy nobody.
Dallas, yeah, exactly. Dallas received the Buck himself, Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Tyrus Jones, Marvin Bagley. The 2026 first-round pick from OKC, a 2030 first-round pick from Golden State, and 3 future second-round picks. Washington receives Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Lo, and Dante Exum. So DKP, I'll start with you first. How do you feel about the Wizards in this side of the trade in terms of looking to the future?
Okay, we all know what type of player the AD is whenever he's healthy, kind of thing. But that's kind of the gamble there, is if he's healthy. I guess I do kind of like it as a veteran piece to have for Alex Sarr. I'm a big Alex Sarr guy, bro. I love his game. I love his two-way ability. I think he's one of the prime two-way stars in the game, young two-way stars in the game, kind of thing. So I think AD being there is going to be good. And then I just want to touch on the Trae Young piece as well, man. If they can get healthy, I don't think they make a serious push whatsoever. But I do think maybe playoffs, maybe play in, maybe. I think that could be possible for them, and for the DMV area, that's a good thing, man. I mean, that's been absent for a while, so that'd be cool to see.
Justin?
So the Wizards did their best Bulls impression. Let's just load up on useless guards that we're never going to use. They went out and traded for whatever's a lesser version of great value, Steph Curry. They traded for a glass power forward, and they gave up picks and young talent to a team that needs picks and young talent. I think it's easy to figure out who won this trade. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why anybody would think the Wizards won this trade, or either trade to begin with. Um, yeah, listen, DKB, I've been really high on your young Wizards. I've been real high on your young Wizards. This is not the move. This is not the veteran presence. This is not the nothing. Because guess what? AD is fragile. He don't want to mentor anybody. He's not going to be a help. He's going to be a locker room cancer. He's going to be power forward Jimmy Butler. The difference is Jimmy Butler can give you minutes. AD won't. I actually hate this trade for your team because I saw this team having a lot of promise. For having literal nobodies on the floor a majority of the year this year, they gave teams good runs for quarters of games. They showed promise. They did these things. The only thing I can
do you
see
not think?
benefiting in
Go
this
ahead, go ahead.
trade is Trey benefiting Trey. That's about it.
I don't. I mean, I don't know because I mean, I guess he's going to be used a lot. I don't know if it benefits Trey whatsoever, to be honest.
I don't think so
Trey,
either. Because we traded for two guards that'll probably end up playing over him in D'Lo and fucking Exum, which is going to piss me off more.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. I don't know if they'll be playing over him, kind of thing. But I just don't think. I just don't see him fit into that system. He don't have. I thought he had a good system around him in Atlanta, man. He just really didn't get a chance to even get going with it, and with Jalen Johnson already being the guy over there, so I just think that it was a
And that's
bad
why I think this
situation.
trade would have worked a hell of a lot better if it was AD to Atlanta like we thought and they kept Trae Young. Because then you get Trae
Yeah.
Young, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, and AD in your starting lineup. If AD is healthy, that team is nasty. That team is a 7 seed. That team can do wonders in the wide open East. But in Washington,
That would have made more sense, to be honest. Genuinely, yeah.
And like it's funny because I had the prediction right of the duo, but the wrong team.
the wrong
'Cause I
team.
did,
Yep.
yeah. And so this is my take on it. I hate Trae Young. I'm the leader of the Trae Young hate FC. I'm not a fan of him. Will never be a fan of him. But I do
I'm up there with
understand. Now I do understand his value in terms of being able to elevate offenses, which I think he can do to a mid-tier level. I'm in a disagreement with the AD stuff, at least for the time being, because I do love AD and I do blaze AD, and I know it's when healthy he is Mr. Glass. Absolutely. I do think because SAR is there, is that now you have AD and SAR to where why Trae Young was able to be great in Atlanta in 2021 is because he had the backline defense. Even if AD plays a 41 games, now you still have a younger version in SAR to where he can solidify and stabilize creating possessions for them to go in what Trae Young wants to do in push the pace. And this Wizards team, up to this point, all they want to do is push pace and shoot threes. Trae Young wants to go and do that. So to me, I think Washington is in sets of finally getting people into the stadium, finally getting asses in seats, first time since John Wall, and it's a good direction. I just don't know if their ceiling is high as everybody really thinks it is, because again, I just don't think Trae Young is the guy. AD is AD at this point. He's going to be out of his prime. I don't know if this is going to be the development of what you want to see with Trey Johnson and Alex Sarr and that young core. I think they're just speeding up the process to where their ceiling is supposed to be next year, but next year we're going to see the definitive Eastern Conference teams be powerhouses again in getting JT back and Hallie back and all this kind of stuff. So cool, you're in it, but you're a 6 seed at best. At best, you're not going to be title contenders unless AD is healthy, which again he just hasn't been. So I'm not the biggest thing. If I were to grade this, I do think I personally think Washington does win, but I give this like a B, like flat B. For the Mavericks, like you said, outside of Chris Middleton, you get, young guys. Marvin Bagley, since he's been on the Mavericks, has been kind of balling out. Shout out Marvin Bagley. Funny enough, the Mavericks did want to go get Marvin Bagley. Now he's back into the place where they were scouting him in that draft. And to be honest with you, I don't love the picks that they got. Like, I think the only valuable pick that they got was the Golden State one, but that isn't going to convey until 2030. So it's like, you're just basically, for Cooper Flag's situation, you're not helping him. You're basically just going to tank for like 3 years, and it's just going to be, we're going to have this conversation about Cooper Flag needing to get out of Dallas sooner rather than later, and we might see another Luka thing to where Cooper's just out. You know what I mean? I just don't know. I don't know how I feel.
Means
Like
Atlanta.
yeah, like in all honesty, like to be honest, like you might not be necessarily wrong that the winner of this trade might be Dallas, but shit, this might be the Hornets, who are the third team with Malachi Brown.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I like to play. I know DKB doesn't dabble in the hypotheticals, but like I always, when trade deadline happens, I have my realistic trades and then my wish trades that I always throw out there. Like, what would I love to see to shake a roster? These are not the players I wanted for Washington. I'm going to be completely honest. My two players I wanted to go to Washington are very different and very interesting to the situation. So Washington likes to run and gun. That's like what they're really good at. I thought a change of pace to slow down and let these kids actually learn how the league is played would have been a lot more helpful. And if you want Sarr to develop behind a veteran who can maybe teach him the traditional side of the center a little better, but still kind of a stretch. The two players I wanted to go to Washington were MPJ and Ivica Zubac. That was my thought for Washington. That would have been, you have your certified number one option in MPJ, you have a shot chucker who can actually put the ball through the rim, and you have arguably a top 5 traditional center left in the NBA. So this was my thought. You get two guys that have been around long enough that educate these young guys and give them the ability to play their game within their game. So this was my wish trade for that, and I really thought that could have been the uplift. It's not going to be an asses and seats thing. I don't think anybody's buying for Michael Porter Jr. But once this team clicks with those two, that would have been the interesting move for me.
I actually don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate that either.
I told you, DKB, I tell Jules this all the time. If you gave me 15 minutes to run an NBA franchise, I could probably correct any team's problems.
I genuinely feel the same way.
It's
no
insane.
cocky shit, but I really do feel the same way.
I would agree. I would say the next biggest trade, and there's a lot of takes coming out of this trade. The Cavs go get Harden, and the Clippers go get Darius Garland and a future second round pick. And why this is so like weird for people is because I think it's because I think people overvalue Garland. Like, I'm not the biggest Garland fan, but he has the potential. He's 26, right? He was running one of the best offenses literally of all time last year when he was on the court. So we got to see what Garland can be as an offensive piece. However, in a year's time, he's been basically since the playoff run, he's just been hurt, and reports coming out that Cleveland has been seriously looking at his rehab and how he's not taking it serious, and they can't go forward with a person who's that young not taking his injury serious if he is injury prone. And the narrative behind Cleveland is that if they don't make an Eastern Conference Finals this year, prior to this trade, that they need to blow it up. So if they already felt that pressure, you go and try to get that window done now, and you get a Harden. And I think Cleveland won, and I might be in the minority of that. But what Harden and Garland to me are similar play types, but they don't run the same. Garland wants to push the pace, and Harden wants to methodically break you down, but they effectively end to the same goal to where they're still opening up a Mobley, they're opening up Jared Allen. They can give Donovan Mitchell his ISO situations whenever they need to. I just think Cleveland saw the writing on the wall and they wanted to try to go get this done now.
I'm very aggressively against this trade. And I'm very aggressively against this trade. And I have reasons behind it. If I'm going to grade this trade, it's a C-. And here's why. Darius Garland, when playing, leads this offense generationally last year. Leads the offense, does well. James Harden coming in does two things to this team I can't stand. Technically three. The first one is he slows it down. This team's built to run. This team is built to run. They don't need James Harden to do that. He's a half-court set merchant. He's really good at it. He wants to chop you up and shoot a three. Second of all, as much as I hate the motherfucker, this hurts Donovan Mitchell more than anybody. Because now Donovan Mitchell is going to get less touches. Donovan Mitchell is going to be less effective. And it's going to close their ability down the road. This is a great regular season lineup. But we know Mr. Playoff Dropper, I suck in Game 7. I don't know what a Game 7 win looks like, James Harden.
Preach.
The third thing is, like you said, this is we have to win this year. We have to get there this year. It's not happening. What James Harden does for this team is great and terrible at the same time. You just made your superstar, if you want to consider Donovan Mitchell a superstar, you just made your superstar less valuable to your team. But you made guys, like you said, Jared Allen, Mobley, basically anybody that's not named Donovan Mitchell, 10 times more valuable to this team. Because James Harden is going to chop a team up, and he's going to find the open guy. It's not going to be Donovan Mitchell. I genuinely feel for Donovan Mitchell. I don't like the man because he's the guy that Devin Booker gets thrown in the conversation with every time, and I'm a known Suns Devin Booker dick rider. I'll use the word. I don't give a shit. But Donovan Mitchell's cooked. I mean, it's cooked. If they're gonna blow it up, I think he's the one that gets chopped at the end of the year. They're gonna keep their younger talent. Harden's gonna be impossible to move. It makes no sense for me. It makes no sense for me. This is not the guard they should have went out and got. Again, me being me, I have other answers on who I would like to have had. I think that if you're going to send Garland out and you want somebody to play like Garland and do Garland things, maybe not on the Garland level, this was the home that I expected for Dennis Schroeder to land at. This was my option here. Dennis Schroeder can kind of push the pace. He's a decent playmaker. He plays okay defense. This would have set them up for exactly what they need, but I can't see Cleveland doing anything now because you just took away their best ability. You just made them a half-court team when they love to transition.
So before you go, DKP, they did go get Dennis Schroeder with Keon Ellis, and they're going to be running the backups when Harlan basically
backups.
staggering.
I'm not moved by Keon Ellis in the slightest, and I know a lot of people are, but I just don't see James Harden benefiting this team when he's going to slow them down completely. This team needs a pace passing point guard because their bigs love to run. Jared Allen is a great rim protector, but he also covers the floor quickly. Evan Mobley is a great defender who covers the floor quickly. Donovan Mitchell can get out into the space, and an outlet pass to Donovan Mitchell can open up his big men. James Harden is going to walk the ball down the floor, get to 5 feet off the three-point line, and let the offense and defense set up. This is the worst thing for Cleveland if they want to make a push.
DKB.
It's crazy because I 99% agree with everything that he just said. Pretty much 100% because this is the one that I really wanted to talk about because it had me scratch my head. I just can't make sense of it. I don't think Darius Garland needed to leave. I don't think that was the answer at all. Him coming back from recovering from his injury, he showed sparks of still being able to play at a very, very, very high level, and I think that he could still absolutely lead this offense. to wherever they needed to go, especially deep into the playoffs. So it just made no sense to me. And I was going to touch on the fact that, James Harden being a historical playoff choker, well, Game 7 choker, we can talk about his playoff stats, yada, yada. But he is a playoff dropper in a lot of sense, field goal percentage-wise, things of that nature. I don't like the move because, as he said, it slows the offense down. But I don't hate the move for Darius Garland. I think that he has a chance to actually perform well with the
Yep.
Clippers. I also like this for the Clippers in general, alongside with Kawhi and whatnot. I think this is a good move for him. I do kind of wish they would have hung on to Zubac, but that's another topic. But I like Garland in LA, but I just don't like the fact that Harden is who took his spot. I think that was a downgrade for the Cavaliers.
Before why I feel like the Cavs did win is because of you bring up great points. I can't defend the James Harden playoff drops, and that is the appearance of what everybody's going to go to with the trade. That is perfectly fine. Garland, outside of one series in the 3 years that he has been in the offs, hasn't been a great playoff performer either. And in the fact that, and I've been trying to explain this to people, is that yes, James Harden has the name value, but he shouldn't be the second option there. I think decisively James Harden needs to be the third, and have Mobley be your second option. Create for him, do whatever he needs to do, and Harden just needs to be the facilitator. Because you guys, both of you
I
bring
agree.
up fantastic points, right? He can't score in the playoffs. 8, 9, 7, 6-point games and in decisive closeout games. But the one thing that has translated really well is his playmaking ability. He's still being able to create dribble drive opportunities for himself and his the players around him. He creates these opportunities to where even if it is methodical in a playoff setting, the pace does slow down. And that's where Harden can go and dissect these defenses like he has been for 10 plus years. So that's my take about, like, I do understand Garland is 10 years younger. You expand your window. You're able to do this if you're able to run it back. But if the organization is then questioning Garland because of how serious he's taking it, that to me is a good enough concern to be like, Garland, if you're not taking this serious and we're supposed to be the first seed coming off of a 64 win season last year, historic offense, and you're not taking this serious, we can't go forward without you. Like we can do something else. That's my only thing.
I mean, that's completely reasonable as well. But I want to pose you the question: do you think that they make a legitimate playoff push with James Harden running the court?
I think with this East specifically, yes, because of how the East is looking, but they don't win a title. And that's the only
Okay.
thing to where I think you have a legitimate argument if you have Garland there. Can they go win a title? I mean, depending on who comes out of the West, because I think we all objectively here, we're all Western Conference teams. Our favorite teams are in the Western
Yep.
Conference. Whoever comes out of the East is going to get steamrolled. So it's like, okay, if Harden gets to the finals, can he give you a game compared to Garland to where, like, oh, can he give you 2 games? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. But regardless of it, if you're just saying that can they get farther in the playoffs with Harden, I personally believe so. But it's not like they're winning anything. You know what I mean? Like,
I
if
agree.
I think that they're thinking about next year because of how they're trying to set up this team for LeBron, because that has been the rumor since this trade came out, is
God, I
Harden,
love
Mitchell.
I love my fucking
I
I
think this is
want it.
Harden's most realistic opportunity to get to the finals since
Yes,
I want to
says
say Houston.
OKC.
I was going to say Brooklyn, but it's
No, it was
yeah,
Brooklyn. If KD
yeah,
didn't wear a size 17 shoe, they would have been there. But yeah.
Yeah, fucking
true. That
16 and a half.
well, I mean, we can blame it on the shoe, but I mean, he also didn't drop a point in
Yeah,
overtime. So
OT.
That's true.
Yeah.
I have a question about this trade, specifically one team on the side of this, the Clippers, right? If you're gonna ship out Zubac and you're gonna ship out Harden, why is Kawhi still here? if you're gonna blow this bitch to oblivion, why are we not going full blow up? I think Kawhi is their guy who fetches them the most out of anybody, especially with the tear he just went on. Kawhi is the guy who's going to fetch the most out of anybody they traded. This makes no sense to me. If you want to rebuild completely, you're not going to rebuild this team around Kawhi Leonard at the age he's at. That's not going to happen.
And I agree, but why I think Kawhi should have stayed with the Clippers. You make a good point, but it's this still lingering thing that came off of this past offseason with the planting trees bullshit that he was on and getting money underneath the table, where I think a lot of people were really scared if you go and trade for Kawhi, which obviously the Clippers are going to get massive compensation for. If he doesn't play a game for you, you're fucked. You just basically gave a whole bunch of first round picks for a guy who's going to be either suspended or hurt. Because that's why we shitted on the AD trade with Washington. Kawhi's in that same conversation, right? But he's just
Absolutely.
and Kawhi, to me, I've been pushing a lot of Kawhi stuff this year. I love him this year. He's been fantastic. But I really truly think that there's just been the lingering. Is he going to get suspended? Is he going to get hurt? Is his knees just going to fucking finally pop out of the sockets? We don't know. And it's where I think, even though he wasn't traded and there is the possibility of him getting the most assets, I think when they traded Zubac, and we can go right into this as a segue, I think Zubac was the most valuable person, and I do think that showed with what Indiana gave them as compensation for next year's draft. That huge gamble about that first round draft pick, that if it doesn't land 5 through 9, that it goes to Indiana if it's a lottery pick. That is how the Clippers are as an organization right now. They're having to go and basically sign their names with the devil to be able to be relevant for the next couple years. They have to gamble on stuff because of them with the SGA Paul George trade. So I think Zubac was way more valuable than Kawhi in this setting because of the context behind it. That's just me though.
No, I mean, that's absolutely real. And I mean, as we're talking here, man, the Clippers are not going to be making any type of real push anytime soon. So, and like you said, Kawhi is, I mean, he can be worth, I guess, his name, but as far as like what he's going to do on the court, there's not really a lot of value there because he's not reliable or durable kind of thing. But yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if you go sell to a contender right now with Kawhi Leonard's name attached to it, and that contender has the assets to give up for it, they're doing
It more than likely would, but it's a gamble, man.
You can say it's a gamble, this, that, and the other. Oh, he might not play for you. Don't matter. You're in a win now mode. Kawhi could give you the win now option, and that's my thing behind it is you find a contender who's got all the assets in the world to get a Kawhi Leonard to a team. Hint, hint, wink, wink. The team that they fucking gave Shea to, who has all the assets in the world, whose fucking starters keep dropping like daisies.
So who do you think? Oh, so you think I mean, that's a pretty obvious answer, but I mean, who would you think would like be an immediate contender, like, immediately push to the finals if Kawhi was to be added to him? Because I mean, I can't think of one off the top of my head, to be honest. Who?
Send his ass back to Toronto.
You think they would be immediate contenders? I don't know.
So,
I mean, that's they got a good team
Justin,
over there.
Man. This fucker Justin, man.
I mean, Bi, Scotty
You telling
Barnes,
me right now,
if
you ran the 4-6-9 motherfuckers out there to go play against a playoff series, they're not your favorite?
That would be disgusting.
What are you doing putting Scotty at the 1?
Huh? Look, hey, LeBron did it, right?
It doesn't.
I'm not doubting it.
Doesn't matter who's the 1. Scotty becomes your 5. No, Scotty goes to the 5.
Yeah, well,
who's the 1? Okay, we're keeping the 4. Okay, quickly still. Yeah,
Quickly's your 1. Yeah. RJ's your 2. Bi's your 3. Kawhi's your 4. Scotty's your 5. And their center, who was injured, played phenomenal. If that guy's your 6th man and he's the one that's rotating in, then they go to a big boy lineup. He subs in for Quickly, and then either Kawhi or RJ run the whole instant East over. Goodbye.
Yeah. It's
that would be nasty for
Here's the thing:
sure.
other teams, I don't know about instant impact, but teams that are having problems with shooting the ball. We talk about it all the time, Jules. Orlando with their issues with their same player.
yeah.
Send Franz over there. Let Franz run his own team. Like
Don't get me started on Orlando,
but that's
bro.
what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. You got to think about teams in the East that are the piece away. Boston's not going to give up for him. That's fine. Detroit, that would be.
They were pushing hard for Kawhi.
This is what I'm saying is you can't think of a contender, but like the Knicks want to blow it up. They have all these things they want to get rid of. The Knicks could potentially do it. The Pistons could do it. Toronto could do it. Or basically any team in the top 6 in the East that isn't Boston could do it.
So I do want to touch on like the contender because the two teams when the 30 minutes of the trade deadline about to end, when they were seriously like thinking about moving Kawhi, the two teams that immediately emerged, one was Detroit, and I do think that Kawhi would fit decisively with Detroit with that defensive minded lineup. Gives Cade a good spacer who can create off the shot and all this kind of stuff. The other team, and it pissed me off, Warriors fans trying to pivot from Giannis to Kawhi. Yo, we talk about greed in the Bible. You motherfuckers, dog. I swear to God.
Otherwise, Minnesota set themselves up to not get Giannis. If they would have pivoted to Kawhi, that'd be disgusting.
I would have loved Kawhi in Minnesota, dog. We dead like ants. Like, I think they probably would have had to move Randall.
I understand short-sighted thinking, but when you look at it, even though Kawhi Leonard is fragile and he's toward the end of his career, you don't know what his knees are going to do. 70% of NBA teams that have the assets could go out and get a Kawhi Leonard, and it would change their entire fucking. Can you imagine if that motherfucker went to Charlotte in the situation they're in?
Right.
Charlotte shoots out of the play into at least a 5 seed.
Probably. But with the Zubac thing, because you got traded to Indiana and DK, I wanna ask you this. This is clearly a move for next year. Clearly a move. So with next year coming, right? You have Zubac now. You have a Siakam. You have the Hallie coming back. You probably are going to win this gamble and get that first round pick that you just sent LA because of the protections behind it. So you might get a DeBonza or a Peterson or whatever. Is this going to be the Pacers East to kind of run if they are able to hit on all cylinders and get one of the guys coming out of this draft?
If they can get their offense back to rolling how it was when they made that finals run, the East is absolutely up for grabs for them. Even when JT comes back for the Celtics, I think that Indiana team is that good defensively and offensively, especially now that you're adding Zubac, which is an exceptional post defender. I think that really allows Siakam to roam more. You know, he's also a pretty damn good interior defender himself, and like I said, he's able to roam. So I think that opens up a lot for him defensively. And with Hallie coming back, the offense is going to get back to running like the oiled machine it is whenever he's on the floor. And I kind of like them moving Benedict Mathurin. I like him as a player. He's well, I liked his potential as a player kind of thing, but he did kind of let me down in a lot of ways. So I'm not upset with them moving on from him. I do think that was an open window for him to kind of move on from. So I think it's just up from here kind of thing. I think they could absolutely make another push.
One thing before you go, Justin, is I was trying to explain this to other people. Again, I'm a Spurs fan, and this year we see San Antonio basically not be afraid of OKC and beat them. This Pacers team is not afraid of Boston because I know that they got swept a couple years ago, but I know people say that there's no sweeps that are close. That is decisively the closest sweep I've ever seen because if Siakam doesn't have that game one blunder, the Pacers have really kept Boston in check for a long time. And if you talk to a lot of Celtics fans who are realistic and not delusional, looking at you, Galore, the Pacers have specifically had their number. And if you make this move, I think Boston should be really, really scared at this point, and I think that's why they go and got a Vooch. I think this is a decisive, like, oh shit, they just got Zubac. We need to go get somebody who can combat that and go get Vooch. So to me, the Pacers are probably going to be at minimum a top 3 seed and basically run it how we saw last year in their finals run. But again, not to cut you off, Justin, what were you about to say?
I think this trade is actually equal to both sides. I think Bennedict Mathurin isn't a letdown player the way DKB says. I just think this system doesn't fit the way he plays because he needs to go out there and be able to play his own game with a mentorship, and he's got to fall in line to a lot of people on the Indiana team. So him moving on is 100% the best thing for him. I would almost put him in the same situation as the way Kuminga was in Golden State. The only difference is that Mathurin got minutes. These two are good young talents that really just didn't get a chance to, blossom. I mean, Mathurin had an absolutely insane. Him and Naismith, basically were just doing the job when Tyrese was off or Siakam was off last year. So I'm intrigued to see. I think it's a 2-year project on Mathurin. You let him finish this year and then see how next year goes. If it doesn't go from there, you can be the greatest G League player of all time if you'd like to be, but you won't be on an NBA roster. So, Zubats for this team gives them exactly what they need. They needed a center, and they need a true center. Miles Turner was not that guy for them. Miles Turner is a good player, and I'll stand firmly on it. I don't think Milwaukee's his fit either. I think they were just trying to grasp at who the hell could we go grab to play with Giannis to keep Giannis in Milwaukee. Zubac is actually what this team needs, though. If it wasn't Zubats, and I know he's probably untouchable from his team, I think they need like a Steven Adams type. They really do need like a facilitating, rebounding big man that can kind of do a little bit of everything. Isn't the greatest shooter, but can still space the floor. Like I said, you know how high I am on Indiana and Tyrese. Once Tyrese comes back, I don't think this team runs the East. I still think it's a 3-headed race between them, Detroit, and Boston, because you can say all this about these established guys that are on Boston and Indiana now that they've shown what they can do. The Pistons are just starting to show what they can do, and they are just phenomenally young, and they are only going to keep getting better, and that's without moves that they make in the next 2 to 3 years to get better. They're probably going to move on from like a Tobias Harris. They're probably going to have to fill that void and get somebody to do a better job than he can. The Ivy move was a little questionable to me, but I understand. Like I said, there's little pieces around the league that can make this team better as well, but it's a 3-headed monster in the East moving forward, barring some sort of other alignment, Giannis to the Knicks in the offseason. But that's basically what I have on this. I'm just, like I said, I want to see what happens when Mathurin gets to kind of take reins more a little bit, where he doesn't have to come off the bench and be like a 6th or 7th man. I just need him to like have his options to do his thing. I think that's what he needs. He is great value Michael Porter Jr. He needs to have some reins to be able to go and play basketball. Like, that's really what it is.
Some of the more underrated ones, and I'll probably go two at a time now. Some of the underrated ones I just mentioned, the Vooch trade to Boston for Anthony Simons. Shout out to Chicago only valuing guards, because Jesus Christ, they had 8 or 9 fucking guards in one time, and they had to play they had to play a small ball 5. We're literally seeing PJ Tucker ball in 2026. It was disgusting. But for Boston, I know our guest usually Retro is a very big Vooch guy, and Vooch has value because how Missoula plays, or Missoula ball is such a real thing. He's going to be the less defensive archetype of what Al Horford was giving, and being able to space the floor, run these off-ball sets once JT comes back, make him a definitive post guy, stretch the floor, be able to get a whole bunch of rebounds because they've been one of the worst rebounding teams in basketball. He solidified, gets that, helps them out with Kada being running their five. Like I really like this move for Boston. Anthony Simons now again being a Bull, and I do think that he's going to get more value. We're probably going to see closer to Portland Trailblazers Anthony Simons. Basically giving you the most meaningless 25 a game, but at least it's 25, right? Chicago's got to root for something. No offense to Bulls fans. The other interesting trade, Warriors fans probably crying. Jonathan Kuminga finally leaving after 4 years of the same shit over and over again. But they go get Kristaps Porzingis. And KP, like, again, we've just been talking about, injury-prone guys who have high impact. KP is like the definition of that. A 7'3" guy. It was the prototype to a Chet and a Wemby to stretch the floor, have high defensive impact. We saw it in Boston. But because he's ill of the, I don't even remember what the illness is. I think that this is the most like lose-lose trade I've seen because again, Kuminga is out and he can show the athletic ability in Atlanta, but you have Jalen Johnson. So having a redundant player who's giving you the same exact things as a Jalen Johnson, he's going to be thrown in the bench like he did with the Warriors. And Atlanta, cool, you got Buddy Hield, the streakiest shooter in NBA history. So I guess that's a plus.
Genuinely.
But for these two trades, DK, how do you feel about these two trades specifically?
Okay, well, I was really excited to talk about the Vooch trade because that is my favorite trade of the entire trade deadline right there. I think Boston really hit the nail on the head. They went out and got exactly what they was needing. Vooch adds so much value. Like you said, whenever JT comes back, he's really going to Vooch is going to have such a pivotal role in the post, man. The offensive glass eating is going to be so huge for them. He's able to post score. I mean, it really opens up a lot for him. The pick and roll is going to be beautiful. I'm really excited to see how he's utilized. As far as the Kristaps trade, that's one of those trades that, it sounds good, it looks good, but I mean, as far as Kristaps being on the floor, that's where it comes into play. It's a big if, it's a big roll of the dice. I don't really like it. I feel like that the Warriors are kind of wasting the last years of Steph. It's kind of sad to see. I don't think that was the answer for them, but yeah, the Vooch trade, my favorite trade of the entire trade deadline.
Justin?
Boy, are you not gonna like me.
Eat up.
This was a win now move by Boston. He will not get re-signed. It's not. This was a contract for contract move on a piece that they needed for this year, not for the future.
Absolutely.
JT will not be coming back this year. I have this really bad feeling they keep pushing evaluations farther and farther back on this thing. There was an article that came out that Mazzulla was asked, and he said JT is nowhere near ready to play now. He's going to get reevaluated after the All-Star break. A week isn't going to change how he feels. It's just not going to happen. He's not coming back this year. Vooch is there for this year to help Jaylen Brown slightly. He's there to help Derek White. He's there to educate Quetta for 30 games. That's what it's going to be. He's not getting re-signed. Anthony to Chicago. Congratulations. Josh Giddey just fell farther down the Chicago Bulls depth chart, in my opinion. Anthony Simons will never be Portland Anthony Simons again. I also think that Scoot was the better guard on that team, but that's just
facts
up for determination by anybody else. There's a reason Scoot's got his own shoe and Anthony Simons doesn't, because he's more of a draw and he's a better player. But that's just me being petty. As far as the other trade, this is going to be short, sweet, and to the point. You traded the cum bucket for Tingus Pingus. Who fucking cares? If Golden State wanted to make a move and sent Kuminga somewhere where he needed to go for an asset that they needed, this was probably the most. obvious, easy New Orleans Pelicans landing spot I've ever seen in my entire life. Jules, you've been high on the two motherfuckers from New Orleans all year. You let Kuminga go play with Zion. You let him go play with Derek Queen. You're building for the future there. There's your future. There's your asset. There's your everything. And then they get a fucking Trey Murphy back on Golden State. I'm telling you, I could GM any franchise into a better spot than what they're fucking doing. And I know sure as hell I can do better than fucking 80 for Luka Doncic. I can tell you that much. But
Can I touch on Kuminga real quick?
Sure.
Go ahead.
It just upsets me because I also feel as if he is wasted potential.
Absolutely.
I really believe in Kuminga a lot, and I hate the spot that he ended up in. That's one of the ones I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Was him, man. I hate that he ended up in such a forward dominant space. He's going to another spot where I don't feel as if he's going to get the amount of PT that he deserves. And I didn't touch on the Anthony Simons trade because I really don't care. I kind of agree with what Justin was saying. I don't think that I don't think he's ever going to live up to the Portland Anthony Simons again. I'm more moved by Rob Dillingham to the Chicago Bulls. I'm ready to see him. I'm ready to see him finally start to get some PT and be able to show what he's capable of doing again. Because I'm definitely moved by Rob Dillingham.
Now, as far as him landing in Atlanta, saying that he can be a bench, whatever, I don't like this. I actually kind of like the fit in Atlanta, but Atlanta has to change their starting five around a little bit to make it work.
Yeah.
I say you let Dyson Daniels run the ball. Let him be the point guard. I say you let Kuminga be the 2. I say you run this big lineup of young guys and see what happens. Because guess what? It can't really get any worse. You just traded everything. You traded your franchise player. You traded the guy you traded for who was supposed to be the answer in the offseason. What can hurt by them trying at this point? Dyson is not a great facilitator, but let him try. I mean, there's been plenty of times in history where we've seen a 2-3 combo guard become a point guard because he can do the job. No one's let him try facilitating. Who knows? This dude could be the best two-way point guard in the league. You never know. He's a phenomenal on-ball defender. He's not going to give you the fucking... He could, again, going out on a limb here, way out on a limb. He could be great value Shea, but the difference is he's not going to benefit you scoring the ball. He's going to benefit you playmaking the ball. He's going to clamp whoever he's guarding because he's one of the best fucking point of attack defenders in the league. Retro will tell you all about that and how he should have won Defensive Player of the Year because how many steals he got last year. But the dude plays phenomenal on-ball defense, don't get me wrong. And if you're going to put your best on-ball defender on a point guard, he might as well be a point guard. So if Dyson can figure out how to facilitate, if he knows how to facilitate, because we haven't seen him have to facilitate, it could be a good.
But we've seen him be able to, facilitation and being able to just play making passes, two different things. I understand, but
right.
I do think that based off of his passing ability alone and his ability to see the court, I do think he could facilitate.
Exactly. So I'm saying if they retool the lineup just slightly and let Dyson play the 1, Kuminga play the 2, and let this team just kind of rock for a little bit and see what happens, it can't be the.
I guess Kuminga can just come off the bench because Nickeil Alexander-Walker is still there, right?
Yeah.
He's still going to be the 2.
What's their starting 5 right now? Jalen's their power forward.
I'm pretty sure it is Daniels, NAW, Kongwu, and I always forget who their other wing is. But if you would want to have Kuminga there, and that's why I was saying before, Jalen and Kuminga are literally the same play type, and that's why it's such an iffy fit. Because if you want to get Nickeil Alexander-Walker off your bench, he can provide the bench scoring, and that's absolutely valuable. But
let Nickeil play the 2, Kuminga play the 3, Johnson play the 4, and Onyeka play the 5, and run your starting 5 of Dyson, Walker, Kuminga.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting Ricochet over Kuminga for sure.
Oh, Ricochet sucks.
He's so bad.
It is Ricochet. You're right. That is the other wing. Ricochet, you're starting 3. Jeez. Maybe if you want Ricochet, that's if you want Ricochet, that's fine, but that is if you're not getting PT over Ricochet, there is a concern there. I'm just gonna say that right now. No offense. No offense.
Kaminga can
And
easily start
honestly,
over
that might help
Ricochet.
Ricochet's
I agree.
development because next man.
That's also fair.
That might help the development. So, like I said, DKB, this has got to be right up your alley, bro. Look what you guys dealt with for the start of the year. You guys were just letting young kids go out there and fucking play ball. Atlanta, go let young kids out there and play ball.
I guess we're talking about development. I'll let you have the reins for this, Justin. Jaren Jackson Jr. is the newest Utah Jazz. How do you feel?
I'm so happy. This is the second best possible option the Jazz could have had. And I love this trade to about 87%. And here's why.
Not 86?
Nope. Don't start with me. Why in the world was Isaiah Collier not the point guard traded away? Why are we trading Walter Clayton Jr. away? This is the only dude I've seen out of college with actual killer instinct in the last 10 years. This man is going to be a certified bucket getter in the NBA.
I'm just playing. I'm sorry. It's a joke.
Right, exactly. See, when you know that you clowned because you said who and you know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about means you probably agree.
He is a bucket getter.
I said this from the jump. The Utah Jazz do not make a trade. And if they do, it does not include Lauri Markkanen. This team is so fucking big man heavy now, though. It's so crazy, but Jaren Jackson Jr. is exactly what they need. Because guess what? They have enough centers to get rebounds. They have Lauri to get rebounds. Triple J doesn't have to rebound. Why? Because he can't. That's his job. He can't.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think you need to move any of those big men? Because y'all have the
don't
big
even
man
get
depth
me
alone.
started.
Don't get him started, DK.
YouTube, I'm sorry if this gets us flagged, but deport Yusuf Nurkic. I hate that man with a passion. I can't stand him. Trade him for free soda in the clubhouse for one night. I don't care. I think he's useless. I think he's a bum. I think between Walker Kessler and Kyle Filipowski, this team will be so nice. You got Walker Kessler, who's established that he can be a good center in this league. You have Kyle Filipowski establishing that he can do the job when Walker Kessler's not on the floor. You have Lauri Markkanen.
Filipowski's so good.
That's what I'm saying. You have Lauri Markkanen. It should have been Walter Clayton. You have by far my favorite young guard in the league. We can just stay nameless on it because I have other young guards I'm supposed to like more. Yeah, exactly. So it's just, I'm so excited to see where this team goes. And I'll be honest, DKB, Triple J was not on my radar for this team. I actually had a former Utah Jazz guy I wanted to go back to his team, but I think this is actually even better for the situation. I wanted John Collins back on the Jazz.
I think that, dude, John Collins is going to be. John Collins could be a very valuable piece.
That's what I'm saying. He gives you what Jaren Jackson can do, except John Collins will actually chase a rebound. He's 4 inches shorter, but his vertical might be 8 inches higher. This dude goes and chases. He's got booms for days.
One thing before you finish, Justin. Just for the whole trade. Yes, I did. Do you think that they gave up a little bit too much because of what Memphis received? You said Walter Clayton. They gave up Slow-Mo. Shout out Slow-Mo, but Slow-Mo ain't shit. Taylor Hendricks, Gorgeous Niang, but they gave up 3 first-round picks. Do you think that Jaren Jackson Jr., Jock Lonsair, who I'm high on, I love Jock, Vince Williams, and John Carter are worth for 3 first-round picks, specifically because it's Danny Ainge. We all know Danny Ainge loves his draft picks.
All right, so just so we're clear, you know I'm the wrong person to ask because I'm the only person on the podcast that believes Jaren Jackson is a good basketball player. Yes, I believe that this is a very close to overreach, but again, we've seen other players who are not as valuable to the team that they were on to start with, fetch 6 first-round picks. Holy fuck. No, it's close. The one that I think it's actually very close. I would have kept Niang. I like the way that he plays in their system. I think that was the one player because he wasn't going to give you the boards that you needed, but he was a very physical defender who could space the floor very nicely, and that complements their team. Like I said, I think the biggest problem with this team, and I'll continue to say it, I get he's 22, and people are like, let him develop. I don't need a bulldog at point guard. I don't. I don't want Isaiah Collier at this team. I'm not a Jazz fan, but I'm a huge Jazz supporter now because of the players that they've brought in and drafted. I don't believe in Isaiah Collier as a player. This dude just literally... He's got a better chance at being a fucking fullback than an NBA Hall of Famer.
I do agree. And Collier, since this trade, has averaged 47.5 minutes and giving you basically a double-double. Those are the most fake assists are real. That's the most fake assist stat line I've ever seen in my life. Basically giving you 15 and 15, looking like an overrated point guard that I love to shit on.
He can't shoot. He can't play make. The guy literally just puts his head down and runs through defenses. I.e., go be the fucking a lead blocker in the NFL. I can't. He's not good.
Last thing, because there's another trade, because I know DKP wants to have a rant about. Do you think Walter, because I do think that Ja eventually leaves Memphis, do you think that Walter Clayton Jr. can be the Memphis replacement?
Oh, dude. Again, wrong person to ask. Do you know how moved I am by a Walter Clayton and Ty Jerome-led Grizzlies team? This could be the most entertaining 13-win team of all time. Dude, they could go for 40 apiece and lose every game. This could be awesome. Walter Clayton needs to become the face of this franchise. I want him to develop that bad. That's where I'm at. I want Walter Clayton to be a household name outside of college. I don't give a shit what you did at Florida. I don't care that you're the cerebral assassin. You literally are the Triple H of basketball. I don't care. Go out there and show it. I want you to go out and play. I want him to be like my career player before you put the VC in. I want you to be the underdog point guard that goes out and dog walks the top 10 point guards in the league. And he can do it. That's the crazy part of it. Because guess what? He's point guard MPJ. He don't give a shit who's in front of him. He's shooting that bitch, and he has a hell of a efficiency and a hell of a shooting percentage. He is going to be lethal, and I just can't wait to watch him develop.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Walter
this time I'm
Walter
serious.
Clayton.
A hell of a shooting percentage from the free throw line.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
30% from three. I'm not moved.
Rookie year. I think
rookie
he has
year shot chucking as a bench point guard in Utah. Are you really going to count those numbers?
No. It's fine. And
I'm kidding.
I'm with the Walter Clayton stuff. I think
somebody must just hate Florida that much.
No.
DK, because we talked about this off stream before between me and you about this certain Afro player who used to play for the Chicago Bulls. Kobe White got traded to the Charlotte Hornets for Colin Sexton and basically a whole bunch of second-round picks. Do you like this? I know you're not a high Kobe White guy, but do you think that he can fill the Colin Sexton role?
I think, listen, okay, so one person I am really high on that we just talked about is Colin Sexton. I think if Colin Sexton goes to a good contending team to where he would have crucial minutes, he is a brilliant two-way guard. His decision-making, he's a very efficient, like I said, and he plays defense. I love that about him. I think that Kobe White's going to fit in very well over there in Charlotte, though. I don't think that he plays, obviously he's not going to bring the defense that Colin Sexton did kind of thing. Not necessarily the efficiency, but he brings a secondary facilitator. coming in behind, LaMelo, or if they play together kind of thing, him at the 1, LaMelo at the 2. However they're going to run it, I have no idea. They're probably going to have Kobe coming off the bench more than likely kind of thing. Regardless of how that rolls, I do think that he's going to play a pretty decent role there. They're a fast-paced team. He's good. He can push the pace kind of thing. Good in the half court. I know you're really high on half court basketball for a point guard. It's necessary. I get it.
I want
get
this.
it.
I want this just to be established. I love transitional players, but I do see the value of half court play when it goes to transition and like playoff basketball. That's why
Yeah,
I
I was
do
about to
the
say
half court
whenever
stuff.
we have the conversation, when it gets to the nitty gritty, half court basketball is so important. So I'm absolutely with you completely. But yeah, I think it's a good move for Kobe, but I kind of hate it for Colin, man, because again, it's just 19 guards on one team. It just kind of doesn't make any
Another
sense.
guard that moves Josh Giddey down the list.
Like, you feel me? It's a mess over there. I would have loved to have seen Colin go to somewhere where he could be valued because he's such a good player.
Facts.
Honestly, dude, no, that's a W. No, that is a brilliant mention right there. Yeah, maybe this guy really could be a GM. Somebody needs to get this guy high.
Well, so it's funny that you say that because Minnesota was the favorites to go get Kobe White if they weren't to go and land Giannis, but they get the other Chicago point guard in Io Dosunmu, who plays 1 through 3. He's a bigger guard. He can defend really well. But Chicago,
I love him. I love Dosunmu, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
I'm moved by Mike
Chicago
Conley.
guard Michael Conley Jr.
Yeah, the Michael. Go ahead.
No, DKB. Like I said, I know I love to throw it at the wall. I said Minnesota, but you know where I'd actually love to see Colin Sexton, and I think it changes their team dynamic completely.
Talk to me.
Houston.
I like that too. Yeah,
He
fits into that play
Minnesota
style.
needs a point guard. Houston needs a point guard.
Absolutely. I think he could fit into that pretty well. Yeah.
This trade to whoever is running Charlotte's shit show and a half. They're I'm the best team in the NBA, but we also host UFC night. If you know, you know.
I'm all about my UFC, bro. I would gladly
do
talk
not
that with
start Kobe White. And this is Jules. I'm going to go as far as to throw this into the realm of my Bears prediction at the start of the year. February 10th, 1:20 in the morning. Kobe White on Charlotte can win Sixth Man of the Year and should in the next 2 years if you don't start him.
He definitely could easily. Actually,
he definitely could. I don't hate that.
Sixth Man of the Year, Kobe White. Let this man run your bench team. Let him get time against other bench teams and watch what happens. I think that for Charlotte's benefit, I think that they need, and I mean they really need, Kalkbrenner to step up here for me to want what I want to happen. Thank you again, Charlotte. I'm going to thank you every week I get to watch Mark Williams in the Suns uniform. I really do appreciate you because you blew it there.
Indeed.
LaMelo and Khan should be your guards. Bridges has had a rough month and a half, but was and still is your most valuable player. Not best player, most valuable player. No one's going to change my mind on that. Don't really care what anyone has to say on it. You don't watch the game if you don't think that he's the most valuable player on the team. Khan is the best player on the team. That's a given. Grass is green. But he's not the most valuable to the team. If they were able to find a power forward role or Kalkbrenner steps in and does his job, this team will be gross. And I mean gross. I'm just upset they're playing as well as they are because if they could have got one of the big 3 out of this draft to add to this team, it'd be phenomenal because Brandon Miller needs to fall off the face of the earth. This man is literally ATM from the 2K career a couple of years ago.
What? Am I hearing Brandon Miller hate? Can we please elaborate? My goodness.
Brandon Miller is... Oh my god.
Brandon Miller is a bucket.
Brandon Miller is the John Stockton of Michael Porter Jr.'s.
Thank you for saying that.
I can't with this. I can't take him serious. Like,
What are you not taking serious? This kid is a bucket getter,
He
bro.
is the one. He is the definition of 1 out of 5. Like, that's literally how I feel watching him play.
I won't defend this because I think specifically in the win streak that they just lost, but within the win streak that they had, he's been shooting the lights out and he's been doing really well. However, Brandon Miller's shot diet is garbage and has been garbage. And that was the biggest thing with him coming into the league was his shot diet. And out of the conversation, before I'll let you go, DK.
Go ahead,
is that the out of the players now that have been on the team for several years, a lot of people have been saying LaMelo doesn't play winning basketball. He now plays winning basketball. Brandon Miller is now the beneficiary of his, the facilitation and what I've said before, the offensive rebounding that the Hornets team has been providing. But he's just he's getting the benefits of just being able to shoot whatever he really wants. And when he gets to the playoffs, I'm telling you, if they get into the play-in and they face Detroit, he is not getting away with that shit at all. He's just not.
Brandon Miller, Jonathan Kuminga, same but different.
Brandon Miller is more of a spot up shooter type of guy, and then can.
Do you want to tell him that?
Attack open lanes.
Hold on. Do you want to tell him that? This man thinks he's out here prime KD. Tween.
Oh yeah, off the dribble. Yeah. Well, when I say spot up, I mean he's a shooter. Yeah.
Specialist.
Yeah, he is a shooter, and that's what I don't like about him is that he shoots the fucking hell out of it.
Yeah, off the dribble. Yeah, I do agree. But I mean, I'm gonna take a shot selection from somebody like Brandon Miller. I'll take his shot diet. Somebody 6'7", 200. I do think he could attack the rim better and probably just sit in the corner and not put the ball on the floor as much.
If only he had a 6'9" white boy on his team that shoots better and has a better shot diet, who's just significantly
very valid point.
Every aspect of the game.
Earlier when we was talking about the Magic, it made me sick because someone like Paolo Banchero, 6'10", 250, has the almost same fucking shot diet as Brandon Miller.
And we're already calling Paolo a fraud and that he's not the best player on his team. So do we really want to go to that?
He's not by far.
Right. So do we need to give him 3 to 4 years under the Charlotte, banner to say, yeah, maybe you shouldn't shoot so fucking much because you're not that fucking good.
And to double down on this as well, I think he is the person that's benefiting from Khan the most out of the starting 5 because now having the spacing that Khan has been doing as a historic level as a rookie, he's being able to get at the rim at will. He's being able to shoot the shots that he wants. And again, when I was talking about this a couple weeks ago on DKP, I kind of explained this to you. Is why they were winning games wasn't necessarily because of LaMelo Ball. It was because of Miles Bridges. It was because of Kalkbrenner. It was because of Diabate winning in the margins, getting the extra possessions so that Brandon Miller, again, he shoots toward eights, but the fact that he's taking 20 to 25 shots is because the offensive rebound, the second, the third, the fourth possessions that he's being able to benefit from. So I'm not trying to shit on Brandon Miller. I understand what he is. I'd much rather him be able to scale down his ability just a little bit, but he's being able to run reins because of what Charles Lee's trying to be a Missoula Ball 2.0, just shooting a whole bunch of threes and getting in and transition, all this kind of stuff. I just don't think that I think out of anybody in that starting lineup, he's specifically the person that isn't the winning basketball player. Just to me, that's all.
No, and I actually agree with what both of y'all are saying. I think the reason my ears perked up immediately whenever I heard it is just, based off of, potential alone. But whenever you said shot diet, I agree with you 100%. I do look at Brandon Miller as much more of a spot up kind of shooter, but he absolutely puts the ball on the ground way too much. I don't like the step back threes at the volume that he takes. The fall away three. I don't like any of that mess, especially when you're not hitting at a high clip. But at the end of the day, he is a shooter. I would like to see him be a lot more spot up, less ball on the ground type of thing. But I do think, I do agree with y'all. I think he's benefiting from a rookie right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, and to me, that's just not a good look. But
it's not at all.
If only this team had like an elite to like below elite level center to just anchor this team down. And like, was pretty good at running the floor, solid rim protector, good mid range.
Man, it's like,
It's
yeah,
like they had the piece. It's like the prosecutors. I just don't know if there's like a good fit for this team. Like somebody who could have been really good. Like maybe he'll wear the number 15. Like it would have been just. I can see like Charlotte. It would look so nice, but like it just there's nobody that comes to mind. Nobody.
Nobody at all. This next trade, this might be something that's not worth anything, but I think it's a very intriguing trade because I see it being low risk, high reward, and it was the Jared McCain trade to OKC.
Oh,
moved.
Okay, I'm on the opposite end of this because at face value, it's again low risk, high reward. But at the same time, Jared McCain, just like how we were talking about Kuminga, is going to be put on a deep roster who is guard heavy that doesn't necessarily provide the value in which you want. So I say that OKC, even though they got a Mason Plumlee, they immediately waived him. They should have gotten somebody that can go in and get these rebounds where Isaiah Hartenstein is being most valued. Go get a Yabusele. They should have gotten Yabusele. Jared McCain has a high potential, but this is now yet another situation where he's going to be thrown on the bench, and then OKC throwing picks away like it's nothing because OKC has every pick known to goddamn man. Like, to me, I just don't like this trade at all. I see where people are coming from, but McCain, to me, needs to be in a system where he can play, not even start, but be like a sixth man and just kind of go and have the PT. That's just me.
I'm glad you feel that way because we are, again, polar opposites of the spectrum. This is the second best trade of the deadline behind the Zubats trade. This is the answer that they need. This is the way. I'm sorry, OKC fans. This is the way to get Lou Dort less minutes on this team. Cason Wallace and Jared McCain as your backup guards is going to be nasty. And who knows, they're going to get more minutes because, again, the Oklahoma City injured reserve keeps growing every week. With Shea out now, McCain's going to get to play, so they're going to see value immediately with this trade. I cannot wait to see what McCain does. McCain does not need to be a starter in the NBA. McCain does not need to be a sixth man in the NBA. His impact isn't as great as everyone wants to say it was. It just looks really good in a fucked up Philadelphia system. This is great. He can get buried in this bench. He can be a second team player, and he's going to give you great backup minutes and great backup numbers. This is awesome. I almost want to say, Jules, and I know you don't like this, I almost say this is a fleece. Because guess what? They can run him as much as they want to. They can run his trade value up and then trade him off if they don't want to use him.
Bingo.
I love this trade for OKC.
I love that you left me off with that. Just go ahead, Jules, if you're going to speak, brother.
No, DK, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I love that you left me off with that, Justin, because that's exactly what I was going to touch on. I was kind of walking the silver lining of what both of you guys were saying. Either the move works out very well, him and Wallace are going to make one of the best guard duos coming off the bench, or he's still going to be valued just based off of that small sample size we got of him in Philadelphia in his rookie season. I think a lot of people are still very high on that, and I do think that he's very capable. Just based on the little sample size we got of him. Yesterday, for instance, 7 points, 3 for 6. He's still capable of doing something. So I think either he plays into the system or he doesn't, and they get good trade value. I think OKC has the best front office in basketball. You ask me.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
No, for sure, and I get it. So I just pulled up the roster, and I understand. Again, this is an injury-riddled team, but when healthy, do you think Jared McCain gets minutes over SGA? Obviously not, right?
Absolutely not.
No. I'm telling you, he's an eighth man. He's not.
I'm telling you right now, he's not even an eighth man.
He's an eighth man. He's an eighth man.
He's not. So you want him getting minutes over AJ Mitchell, who is in 6-man of the year conversations. You want him getting minutes over Kaysen, Aaron, Alex Caruso, Kenrick Williams, Chris Youngblood, Topic.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
I can't justify that, in my opinion.
I think it's trade value. I like I said, I think the duo looks good this year, and I think that him playing and looking good throughout the rest of the season gives him trade value. I think that's exactly what OKC is doing. They're not looking to keep him on the team.
Either that, or they're going to move on from other people. Because guess what? They might they might trade their 6th man of the year contender off this team. I don't think
AJ's valuable.
I don't think you understand, Jules. First off, I'm not as high on the rest of these guards that are off their bench as you are. I really am not.
You're not high on Kaysen Wallace?
I'm high on Kaysen Wallace.
I'm gonna let you talk.
I'm high on Kaysen Wallace off their bench. That's about it at the guard position.
AJ Mitchell is a great piece off the bench. And I mean,
yeah. Do you know what else he can do? Be an undersized small forward on the second team. Do you know what Jared McCain can do? Be an undersized small forward on a second team. This team, I'm telling you, everyone's sitting here thinking, oh, well, this doesn't anything. He buries in a bench. This is the greatest fucking move to shift around small ball, traditional basketball. They can cycle players in and out. Their guards on the bench can fluctuate anywhere between 8 to 13 minutes, go in and do a job and get off the floor. Just because you're a rookie that was valued high in another place does not mean you can't fit a scheme and do your job in another place. At the end of the day, what is the NBA about?
That's what I pose you the question. What it's about winning basketball.
Yep.
Right? So what is Jared McCain doing that you value more over AJ Mitchell?
It's just, like I said, it's how I watch them play. It's system. It doesn't matter if he's playing over AJ Mitchell. Think about it. They have 5 guards on their bench you can interchange throughout. If Shea needs a break, if J-Dub needs a break, if you want to go small ball, these guys plug in perfectly. This is what I'm talking about. It has nothing to do with him being better than any of the other guards, because guess what? I think they're almost all on the same level. They're almost the same player. Jules doesn't like the carbon copy game. I love the carbon copy game. Because if one goes down or one's having an off night, the other one steps right in. It's an assembly line. You keep the motherfucker moving. It just adds to what OKC has been the best at the last 3 years. Depth, depth, depth.
That's if they're able to get him to play that role, then that sounds nice. But I don't think a player like Jared McCain is going to want to. I don't think a rookie
has any leg to stand on and say that he's not going to do something. You're going to either play or you're going to get moved.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's willing to be moved because he hasn't had any chance to have any real PT based on his injuries and everything like that. I think he's wanting to try to make a name for himself. All the more reason why you shouldn't.
I'm going to say it bluntly. All the more reason. You're a rookie. You've been injury prone. At this point, you're on a championship contender team. I am firmly, if I'm Jared McCain, my motto right now is know your role and shut your mouth.
I mean, for this season, he's going to. For this season, he will.
For this season, he won't, because TikTok boy makes nothing but TikToks. Juju Smith-Schuster, equivalent of NBA. He's not going to keep silent. He's going to bring drama to that team immediately, bro. I just can't get behind this Jared McCain stuff. I just can't. 8 to 13 minutes. That's completely fine. But when your identity is strictly defense, and you already have your team have the backup guards being offensively slanted, Jared McCain can absolutely get those 8 to 13 minutes. But that's not going to be as valuable as a person who like an AJ Mitchell or an Aaron Wiggins or Kyrick Williams or anybody. Or even when Topic comes back, Topic was a lottery pick for a reason. He's just had extremely bad circumstances, and he's younger than Jared McCain, and he has higher potential than Jared McCain. It's just, to me, absolutely. I understand. Go play him and get the trade value, but you spent a first and 3 seconds on a guy who's going to get 8 minutes a game. That's you just said you hated Mikal Bridges trade because of 6 first rounders. We just saw somebody who gives you 5 points a game go for four picks. That's disgusting.
I don't care about picks after the first round.
There's now.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. You said it yourself. This team is sitting on Fort Knox of the draft picks. They don't care. They're still going to go out and get the players they need. Those picks mean literally fucking nothing. So what did they do? They went and took a draft pick away that they saw value in from another team, and now you're forcing that team to try and replace that guy. That's my thing with it. They don't care about the second-round picks because guess what? It doesn't matter who they draft. They could draft one of the top players in the draft. It's Philadelphia. They don't develop shit. Until they figure out that trusting the process was the biggest mistake in NBA history, they're going nowhere and fast. And we talked about it, Jules. You want to talk about it. You know how high I am on that undersized guard in Philadelphia. Get him some fucking help. Get him some real help. Joel Embiid is not help. That's hurt.
That's fair.
You got him and VJ. Go get this man a board-dominant center that... Oh, I have options. I have so many options.
I think the only relevant last trade, other than the Jock Landale stuff to Atlanta, shout out Jock again.
Great.
Chris Paul got traded at the trade deadline, and ultimately Toronto said, "We're good. You can stay there and just do nothing." Do we think that Chris Paul deserves to be on a fucking team? Because I think so.
Oh, well, I've already named 2 teams that need point guards.
Yeah, I think he could still be pretty valuable as a facilitator off the bench.
Chris Paul back to Houston until Van Vliet comes back. Then he can maintain a bench role.
Like, I've never seen a player get done dirty in their retirement tour more than Chris Paul, and the only conversation I'll entertain is fucking Paul Pierce with the Draymond comment of "they don't love you like that." That's it. Like, and what sucks is that the Clippers went on this all-time run without him, and now our teams are seeing that Chris Paul is a hard-headed asshole, which he's been his whole career, so that's nothing new. And he provides vet leadership to systems and players to where we've seen SGA develop. We've seen Stephon Castle develop into a facilitator. Everything that Chris Paul has mentored has turned within a season and a half to
Watch yourself.
All he does is he has the Midas touch. Chris Paul is great.
Yeah, so great. Hey, Jules?
I don't care about the Suns.
My hand looks a little empty.
Who took
Chris Paul's
their ring away, Jules? Who took their ring away?
DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, listen, yeah, I know you guys are guys of advanced analytics. You understand that Chris Paul is one of the greatest winners of all time, despite not having a ring.
Yes.
Yep.
I love Chris Paul.
He's one of the best floor managers of all time.
Oh, I sure used to.
Chris Paul is a top 35, top 30 player of all time without a ring.
That's a fact.
Chris Paul used to be the best Jordan Brand athlete ever.
It just like I said, or like Joel said, I mean, it disgusts me so much. That's a crazy statement, Justin. But that disgusts me so much because this man is being genuinely disrespected on his retirement tour. Like I said, a top 35, top 30 player of all time, top 3-point guard, top 5-point guard, whatever of all time. It's honestly disgusting.
I believe me, I used to be the biggest Chris Paul stan. I used to think Chris Paul was a top 3-point guard all time in the NBA. I used to be the highest Chris Paul Glazer of all time. When you throw a series and then try to intentionally hurt a generational talent and superstar in the league, I don't give a shit what happens to you after. I really don't. I hope you hit every brick on the way down. I hope you be the point guard of a team that wins 4 games. After Chris Paul did what he did to the Suns, I want to be as petty as Chance the Rapper in the song. Like, I hope you get a paper cut on your tongue. Like, literally, that's how I feel. Like, that's how I feel at this point. I'm so over it. Chris, you did a phenomenal service to the NBA. You were literally one of the greatest point guards of all time. Like you said, top 30 player all time. If you want to put him that high, I don't. I just top 30 is a little high. There's guys that are.
I said top 35, top 30. I don't think he
Yeah.
can go any
I can
lower
be,
than
I-
35.
Trust me.
he can be in the 40s and 50s. That's fine.
my
But yeah,
All right, I thought Retro left. Anyways,
that's not.
Oh my
It's not a
goodness.
hot
that is
take.
a hot take.
It's
That
That
is a
is
hot
a
take.
that's a sizzling take. That's a
not a hot
sizzling
take.
take.
I didn't say Kyrie respect. Calm down.
Oh, that's a crazy one.
We'll get to him later.
Yeah. Well, do we want to get to him now? Because outside of these trades, I don't really find anything else. I mean, do we want to talk about Mike Conley doing a full circle, getting back to Minnesota? Is that worth 30 seconds? I don't.
Moved. He's getting a ring this season.
Moved. Shout out sportsman. Shout out the nicest point guard of all time, Mike Conley.
Yeah, honestly.
Shout out the 2K13 demon, Mike Conley.
Absolutely, man.
Facts.
No, I mean, honestly, good for Minnesota. Like, that's the funniest fucking shit ever. You traded Rob Dillingham for Io DeSumo and then got to keep Mike Conley. I think that might be, like, the con on the trade, I guess.
Rob Dillingham was so misused in Minnesota. It kind of pisses me off.
And so was, and I'll still stand on the hill, so is Naz Reid. But that's just an argument for another day. So, yeah, God, can you imagine Naz Reid as a Hornet, dude? Oh, that would be awesome. What do you mean? Anywhere but Golden State, right, Jules?
But Golden State.
All right.
Yeah, that's how Golden State feels.
Well, you're up first, Jules.
Okay.
Do you not have an NBA game?
Oh, I do. I thought you were gonna start. That's why I was like, my bad.
No.
So
Why would I start?
Well, fair. Okay, so give me 1 second. I just have to pull this up really quick. My bad.
Technical difficulties are crazy.
So I have the best trade deadline trade since 2000. Just the name players.
Okay. Yeah. DKB, this is what you did before, but you and I have to work together and come to an agreement on the 3 we keep.
Oh, shit. All right, hit me.
So, again, since 2000, this is just individual trades. This is just more the name and the team, not just what they were for or anything, just name and team. The first one, I have Dikembe Mutombo to the 76ers in 01.
I mean, it was a finals push. Man, I don't know. Justin, what are you feeling, buddy?
I'm not moved by the refs forcing Philadelphia to win, therefore I'm gonna cut.
I'm cool with not taking it as well.
Okay. Next name up, DeMarcus Cousins to the Pelicans.
Not moved by DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, not moved
whatsoever.
at all, yeah. That was overhyped as well.
DeMarcus Cousins was a phenomenal number one option to watch in Sacramento because I'm wholeheartedly believe that if Sacramento could have brought him one more piece, I wouldn't be able to use the greatest NBA stat of all time, and DeMarcus Cousins could have been the MVP with Charles Barkley to lead the league in technical fouls. I would have been so ready for that shared record.
Prime Boogie was out.
Yeah.
Next guy up, Melo to the Knicks.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, that was a franchise changer. I mean, honestly, also shout out Carmelo Anthony for actually should have won Rookie of the Year, but when somebody's the most overhyped sack of shit since sliced bread.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. He should not have won Rookie. We're not going to get started on that.
We're not going to. You know what? You're right. We won't get started because grass is green. Stats don't lie. Yeah.
Stats don't lie, indeed.
Yeah, stats don't lie, indeed. Melo was better, head and shoulders, actually.
Literally wasn't. LeBron had a higher usage rate. He also was a better facilitator. He was on the worst team. You're going to use Melo's team's record as I don't care about none of that. We're talking about individual performance as a rookie. LeBron
That's
literally
great. You can
outclassed him,
have your
and
criteria.
defensively as well.
You can have
Defensively as well.
you can have your criteria. I can have mine. Conducive to winning is a crazy stat, though. Anyway, you know
Yeah,
what? Here's the thing. I want to take this trade, and I really do, but part of me also thinks that this kind of hindered Melo in a way, and also caused a metric fuck ton of hate because Melo turned into Melo Ball, and everyone fucking hates Melo Ball. But to cut three, I don't hate Melo Ball. I like Melo. I love the attitude. I love the swagger. You can't fucking do it.
Real hoopers love Melo Ball. It was
I
just
just can't
a
stand
movement.
Melo in general, but I love Melo Ball. You know,
Indeed.
Melo, Amari Stoudemire, those were the days, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think I don't want to cut 3 in a row, but I think we have to cut.
Indeed.
That's the pick aside with respect. We're cutting.
With respect. Next one up, Rasheed Wallace to the Pistons.
I'm keeping that.
Led to one of the best defenses of all time. Definitely moved.
I'm keeping that one.
With Chip. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keeping that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Next one up, Pau Gasol to the Lakers.
I'm keeping it. We can debate it.
This one's one of those ones that teeters the line, but I can grant it because of what happened after, you know?
And not only offensive impact, incredible defensive impact. We seen what he brought in the playoffs.
Yeah, but my man hindered Lamar Odom, so it kind of hurt me a little bit. So but yeah, we're keeping Pau.
Keeping Pau. Okay. Next one up, KD to Phoenix.
No.
By far the worst trade on the list. By far the worst trade on this list. Again, DKB, me being a Suns fan. Picture this. You're the Washington Wizards, right? You make it to a finals with very nice, very young talent. With even if you have a cancerous center that has trade value that you can send off to another team, what in your right mind makes you think that trading for a 35, 36-year-old former superstar, blowing up your team that was in the finals the year before is a good idea? And mortgaging your whole future on.
Literally made no sense to me. I said it made no sense whenever it happened.
The KD trade is almost as bad as the Bradley Beal trade. So we will be cutting 100%.
Absolutely.
Okay, cutting that. Next, the most overglazed trade in NBA history, Jimmy Butler to the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm not moved.
How many names we got left?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that not the last one?
You got one more after this.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm not moved. I'm not moved by this one. At all.
Jules.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Uh-huh.
I gotta think. Part of me wants to say that Luka's the last one on the list, and that's why I won't take Jimmy. DKB, why are you so against this? I need to hear why.
Because it has
because
genuinely amounted to nothing.
Oh, right.
It has amounted to nothing.
Jules,
for
you
them.
can't say that because he knows ball when you've been on the same side as the argument as me, so I really don't want to hear you say because he knows ball. Because, Jules, what did we agree Jimmy Butler did for the greatest shooter of all time?
That's this season. That's not what he did last season.
Oh, right. So he didn't show up and make instant impact for a team that was going nowhere fast. Ooh, nope. Yeah. Never happened, right? Yeah.
Got outplayed by Jalen McDaniels. Not moved.
Oh, because he got outplayed. Because he got outplayed in the postseason. Right. Just curious if Jimmy Butler
fake playoff riser. Thank you.
Oh, right. So we can say that. Do you know who doesn't make the playoffs if Jimmy doesn't come to their team? Right. I'll digress.
Not moved by 7th seed.
That's fantastic. They weren't going to be a seed at all. What are we doing? Stop. Jules, you can't play both sides just because somebody else came on the podcast. You've agreed with me. No, you can't. DKB, don't let him play you. Since before the 2 minutes ago when he brought this up, Jules was on the same side as me, agreeing that Jimmy Butler was the most valuable player to that team, made the team better,
this season.
Shut your mouth. Yeah, this season. Not this season, last season. Nice try.
Okay, listen, as much as I do value all of this, and I do think that Jimmy Butler absolutely did make an immediate impact kind of thing, I don't know. No, it's not even a question. I'm not going to do that. I don't value him to the Warriors over Luka to the Lakers if that's the last one.
I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to just think of what else is out there. Luka to the Lakers. I would assume it's the last one. I'm just trying to think what else is out there, like needle mover impact kind of. I mean, technically, draft night trade for Luka to end up in Dallas to start with is another one. Seems like it's all revolving around Luka. I mean, A Disney could be the thing. We can cut, but this is respectful. Jules, you're not allowed to flip-flop back and forth. That's retro tendencies, dude.
Well, again, I said this season, not last season. Not care about Jimmy Butler on the Warriors last year.
Him getting there last year was instant impact, and that's the only reason they made the playoffs. Stop.
We cut Jimmy, we cut KD, we cut Mutombo, we cut Boogie, and we cut Melo to keep Rashid, Gasol, and Luka for AD.
Yeah. The worst trade in NBA history.
The worst
for
trade.
The Mavericks.
Closely followed by the guy who was drafted in the same draft class, Trae Young, to the Wizards.
Oh, well. But that was my pick for the Cup 5.
Let's play fun stuff. Would you rather Kyrie Irving edition?
Oh my God.
Since everybody else in the world wants to say that Kyrie is better than people, which he's really not.
At all?
I don't really expect you guys to take Kyrie in any of these, because I wouldn't. That's just me. The first name up is my favorite one. Jules, you want to take a guess at who it is?
Kevin Johnson?
That's funny. These are almost all current players.
Okay. Then no.
Kevin Johnson over Kyrie.
John Wall.
Yes, John Wall.
Peak for peak, John Wall.
Yep. Career for career, John Wall. Just doesn't have the ring.
John Wall.
Kemba Walker.
So crazy. Ooh. It gets iffy there. I'm taking Kyrie. It gets iffy there, though.
I think that's the most iffy one. I see the argument for Kemba because of the early playoff days and that kind of stuff. I would still slightly lean Kyrie.
I won't. That's fine.
Listen, the fact that it's even a conversation speaks volumes. Continue.
Yes. Oh yeah. I agree.
Dear TikTok community, if I hear this argument one more fucking time, I'm gonna apply at TikTok and just start banning IPs. Kyrie Irving or Chris Paul?
Chris Paul, not a question.
Chris fucking
Move on.
Paul.
Kyrie Irving.
It's not even a debate.
Russell Westbrook.
Russ,
dude.
Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard.
God, it gets iffy there too, man.
I'm leaning Lillard, bro, for number one option.
I will lean Dame peak for peak, even career for career, I guess. But I don't know.
Here's where we go outside of active players. Okay. Kyrie Irving, Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd, dude.
That's easy. What the fuck?
Kyrie Irving, This one you guys might have the problem on. Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, I'm taking
Oh,
Kyrie.
that's
I'm not having this conversation. I'm taking
yeah.
Kai.
I'm taking Kyrie, bro.
Give me Agent Zero.
Chris.
You're such a hater, bro.
That's so
Kyrie
great.
Irving or Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey.
This is the most iffy one. I like Chauncey, but if you just strictly do impact to winning, it's clearly Chauncey. It's clearly
I'm
Chauncey.
well aware.
That's immediately where I jump. Defensive
Yeah.
impact and everything of that nature.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say Chauncey.
Yeah. So Kyrie Irving's a fraud. Got it. All right.
Indeed.
Our history fact of the day, like I mentioned earlier, time of recording February 10th. Jules, we've mentioned this guy once already on a past podcast for setting a college record. 1969, Louisiana State University's Pete Maravich scores 66 points, despite his team losing to Tulane 101-94.
Pistol Pete, baby.
See, I understand the glaze of like good college player, but dog, there's a reason why he got traded for fucking bag of chips. When he was in the league, Pistol Pete is. When we talk about overrated players, I believe he's one of the most overrated players of all time.
Let's see if there's any other.
He gets thrown at me a lot by a particular
Here
group
you
of
go.
people.
Here you
I
go,
mean, we're
historians. Here you go, historians.
Would that particular group of people be Caucasian like myself, DK, or
yeah. But not only, you know what I'm saying, that's not what I'm leaning towards, like
no?
the ones that don't like me.
Oh God,
Larry Bird's top 5 all time.
Jason
you know,
Williams
so-
is the
Jesus
best
fucking-
point guard of all time.
Yeah.
literally, like, yeah, fuck those people. By the way,
Another one I'll throw out there because you two are old heads, and there's another old head one on here.
that's crazy. You're older than me, Unc.
I'm sorry, basketball didn't exist in 2000.
Wait,
That's
I'm
disgusting.
26, boys. I'm Unc too. I'm
No,
officially
I'm
Unc.
Unc.
DK. We're both the same age. Unc over here is 30.
I turned 31 in a month.
Oh, you're definitely Unc.
Yeah. 1989 Celtic Casey Jones and Cavalier Lenny Wilkins elected to the NBA Hall of Fame.
W.
Absolutely.
Well deserved. Casey Jones, big, like, actually, I think is the big reason why they were able to win those titles in the second half of the 80s. And Lenny Wilkins, Lenny Wilkins by and far and large, like one of the most prominent players and coaches in Seattle Supersonics history. Lenny, I think, has an argument when we're talking about point guards being better than Kyrie. Lenny Wilkins definitely has a case to be over him. Lenny was fantastic, great forward-thinking mind.
Yeah, these guys were hella good plumbers.
Fuck off. That's disgusting. How dare you? I can't take Lenny Wilkins' disrespect after his past, bro. I will fight for Lenny. Anything else before we get off, though?
No, send us home.
All right.
Send us home.
DK, thank you for coming up on We Don't Know Ball. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully we can get you on to the future because Retro is a bum. For guys on TikTok who know me, this is DKB. Go follow him. He makes great sports content. He does a whole bunch of stuff, commentary. He hosts lives every now and again. You should run that more often. But on us, sub to our YouTube, comment, subscribe. Let us know if we don't know ball. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.